Hi YouTube, this is the first of hopefully a series of videos which I'm going to call RC Workbench, or Workbench because there'll probably be several that aren't related necessarily to RC. And this is my new vehicle. This is a Great Vigor Mammoth 4x4 1/8 scale nitro buggy, and it's soon to become X Nitro as I plan to convert it to electric. So I've already started the strip down, just pulling components out of it. I've got the fuel tank out, receiver box, battery box, and the servo for the brakes out already. So it's got 3 brake pads actually, 2 rotors and sets of pads for the front, and then 1 for the rear, because obviously when you're braking, coming to a stop that way. It's 2-speed, but unfortunately excuse me, unfortunately the high-speed gear, the one-way bearing is stripped out, so it now spins both ways freely. But then the drive for the low-end speed is fine, and I plan to play around with it and see if I can get it so that I can use the electric motor for braking as well as acceleration. So I'll play with that in a while, but first I'm just stripping out things that I'm not going to need, motor mounts and whatnot, and then I'm going to degrease the whole thing. So we'll start with stripping it down, and I will accelerate the video so you can see what I've done as I do it, and perhaps skip forwards a bit to when it's completed. Here we go. So, skipping forwards a little way, I now have the tank, steering servo, brake servo, receiver tray, on-off switch, battery tray, side panels, bumper, brake lever. Unfortunately, the grub screw in there has had the 1.5mm hex driver snap off in it, so I can't get that off very easily. Haven't done that yet. I've got the motor mount, and I've sorted hardware off as well. So the next step now is to clean it all up, degrease the whole thing, and then probably start working on the layout. Take the diff apart, remove anything I can from there that I won't need, and we'll see how it goes. I'll be back shortly. Back again after cleaning it up. As you can see, it does look considerably cleaner already. I've taken a lot of the rubbish and gunk, which is primarily grease and dirt, just crusted together and stuck to the chassis. So I've cleaned up the chassis, cleaned up the side plates as best as I could, and the bumper, and a little bit of work on the rear diff and on the centre diff. But now I'm going to continue stripping it down, so pull off the centre diff and the baffle for the spurs, all these tie rods, and eventually the front and rear diffs will come off and take out the A-arms and everything. So whole thing is going to get split up into various different pieces, and we'll go from there so I can keep cleaning it. As you can see, I've now got it entirely into the 4 main pieces. Diff gears, bearings, and centrifugal clutch and shaft and whatnot. Well, not central diff really, central gearing. There's no differential parts that need to be cleaned from that, so front and rear drive shafts and the diff centre gearing casing. This which can now be cleaned up on either end, and rear diff, front diff and steering assembly. So I'm going to go clean these up now and potentially straighten out a couple of straighten out a couple of pieces of stuff and take the shocks off as well. Clean it all up and probably start reassembling it.